This is a 16-year-old ZywOo playing his first game against a top 10 ranked team against the number 6 ranked VP, and he's about to do ZywOo things to them. Ooh, okay, yeah, hit him with the no-scope. And okay, eventually closes out the round 2. Wow. That was a ridiculous round, and let's break down this ridiculous game from ZywOo where he went 37 for 22 against the Golden 5. Ahoy hoy, it's your boy Hawker back with another video, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit more context on this game. 2 weeks before this game was played, VP played their epic best of 5 grand final at Epicenter 2017 against SK Gaming, and even though the Brazilians won this best of 5, it's gone down as probably the best of 5 grand final we've ever had in CSGO, and it propelled SK to the #1 spot in the world, and VP played them incredibly close. A few days before this game was played, VP also played another tournament where they made it to the grand final and lost against a Renegades team featuring a breakout star in the name of Naf, who was really making a name for himself on this squad. On the other side of things, ZywOo was still 16 years old, he was a few days away from his 17th birthday, and he was hard carrying his team of players who have never been relevant at the top tier of Counter-Strike to wins in MDL. And when I say hard carrying, I mean hard carrying. Look at his stats for this MDL season compared to everybody else. It feels crazy that this game even happened. It feels like ZywOo is a player who came from a completely different generation to this legendary VP lineup. But this was when VP were having a resurgence, they were still a top team in the world, and ZywOo still had a superb game against them. We're going to start with the pistol round, but I do want to give the quick caveat that this was an online best of 1 in MDL that VP probably didn't care that much about. But I still think it's crazy to see ZywOo playing against this legendary lineup, and for what it's worth, he gets owned in the pistol round. Neo lands a nice shot on him here at long. Something you won't know if you weren't around back in 2017 is just how busted the CZ was. Take a look at this round where ZywOo is just walking up mid with the CZ because it's that good at long range. It's really cool to see how ZywOo approaches this gun from a completely different era of Counter-Strike. And you're going to see here, he spot snacks on short, wins that first fight, and then even though they go back to B and VP read it pretty easily on the rotate, once again, the CZ is stupidly good at range, ZywOo gets another kill, and they go on to close out this round. After a couple of anti-eco kills, we're going to skip ahead to the first gun round, where ZywOo puts down the top banana molotov and a flash for the left side. And something that becomes blatantly obvious throughout this demo is that ZywOo is playing way more aggressive. Probably because he has worse teammates, but also probably because he's still pretty raw in his game at this point. And in this round it works out great. Initially there are trades onto the B site, then ZywOo gets that spam through the smoke, which is lovely, but after that, this aggression is absurd. He takes the fight to VP, completely demolishes them single-handedly in this post plant, and this is something I normally wouldn't advise, but if you're ZywOo, you can get away with it. Even if you're only 16 years old at this point, which still just blows my mind. There were some rounds where ZywOo obviously made mistakes. This AK spray in this round is just straight up bad. But remember, he's an AWPer on this team, and he just had that sick round before, so I think we'll let it slide. Going into the next gun round, you get to see another example of ZywOo clearly being aware that he has to be the focal point for this team. He flashes the AWP away from top mid, and just tries to take fights at the start of this round to give his team an edge. VP don't give him any fights though, and yet still ZywOo is able to use that natural intuition, that natural instinct to sneak into short and to catch Pasha off guard for this first kill. Even though VP used some counter nades to deny him here, we're already seeing some examples of ZywOo's intuition for the game, which clearly comes naturally to him. Round 8 of this game from ZywOo is a masterpiece. Strap in, this is a sick round. To begin with, both teams jostle for banana control early. You get to see some fairly standard nades for the time being deployed by both teams. But then ZywOo notices this smoke is going to have a gap in it. And look at how poised he is to instantly peek around the corner and pre-fire the angle in case someone's there. That's a move that looks like something a veteran would do. And again, this guy's a rookie. He then begins to try and pre-fire some angles on B, and that's just a sick shot, adjusting to the CT player. Then he dodges the flash onto the player on site, remains in control of the fight for a second, and the third kill. And then most players at this point would be done. Most players would just be like, yeah, I've done enough in this round. ZywOo is a different beast though. He pushes through ruins, gets another kill on the round, and basically wins this round by himself for his team. I mean, look, ZywOo's skilled player, but that is not normally. It's very, very insane. Okay, I'm not doing the whole copy pasta, but you get my point. That round's ridiculous. He looks so poised, so calm in all these fights. For a player so young, that is such a rare quality to have. I'm gonna have to speedrun some of these rounds because this video is already getting long and we're only 8 rounds in. But here in round 9, standard pick top banana, nothing too special there. This second kill is fantastic though, and it's another play that I would describe as a veteran move. A move I'd expect Flusher or JW to make. Before this smoke fades, ZywOo peeks to get this kill. It's another play which is just such a smart thing to do individually. And again, I think it really just shows how ZywOo is special in his feel for the game. There are very few players that have the natural feel for the game that ZywOo does. And it's so cool to see that aspect of his game, which he's now doing against the top tier teams in the world, be true in some of these earlier games that he was playing when he was so young. Nothing special in round 10, just a CZ sidearm kill. But again, look at how quickly he can get this CZ out as a backup plan, and how interesting it would have been to see ZywOo play at the top level when this gun was in the game. Round 11, another standard one as Neo overpeaks this angle to give ZywOo the pick, but we are getting to see more of ZywOo's AWPing now. And in round 12, I don't know if ZywOo's doing his homework mid-game or something, but he takes a while to react to this player in front of the screen before eventually getting another kill with that CZ sidearm, which is just so strong. I think round 13 is the first time Pasha out-AWPs him on a fight down mid, but let's be real, this is going to happen to you sometimes, even if you are a great player. Into the penultimate round of the half, ZywOo spots a small gap in this banana smoke and instantly throws the bomb away, ready to take a fight on banana, gets this first kill, and then calls for his teammates to follow him up before finding the second entry onto the site, and again, basically winning the round by himself with these aggressive plays. And then in round 15, he gets caught out by some aggression from Taz, but I think this is more his teammates getting caught with poor timings and not being able to cover off the apartments for him. So that was the entire first half for ZywOo, where he went 22 for 7, won the half 11-4, and yet against all authority still aren't able to close this game out. Jumping into the second half pistol, ZywOo lands a really clean one-tap to start this round off, but unfortunately he gets smoked off at CT and then just gets ganged up on, so can only get 1 kill on the pistol, and on this team, against VP, if ZywOo's only getting 1 kill on the pistol, you're probably not winning it. ZywOo's standard spot is banana on this CT side, and in this first gun round he has an M4. This is one of the few rounds where he really gets out-positioned though. The molly forces him back early, there's some good nade damage from VP as well, and then ZywOo kind of gets caught in the open at top banana, not fully ready for this fight, and goes down early. Into the next gun round, ZywOo's finally able to get an AWP out on this CT side, and against all authority run this nice boost play on banana, where ZywOo lands a tight AWP shot to start the round. Then from here, ZywOo largely has to rely on his A players to lock down the site, which they do, although it's still absolutely absurd that ZywOo flashes himself through this smoke and lands a leg shot to help on the hold. That's a crazy play to make, but of course ZywOo makes it. Unfortunately though, there were also just plenty of rounds in this second half where ZywOo was stuck rotating over to A in a really rough spot. In this one, he's left in a 2v4, and even though he gets this kill, he really should probably be saving here. But ZywOo tries to take another fight with that pure confidence, and it doesn't go too well for him. Pasha is very well prepared for this one. Oh, by the way, here's another round where they're on a half buy, they go for the CZs, and ZywOo again makes the most of this CZ. He's clearly got great control of this weapon, as you kind of had to have at the time because it was so strong, but still, a nice double kill, and again, a cool thing to see, considering you don't really think of ZywOo being a player who even played back then, but he did. Finally, in round 27, ZywOo decides enough is enough. He goes over to play the A site, which his team had been losing in the majority of these rounds. And ZywOo goes for an apartments push where his teammate dies off early, but he's able to pull out the USP to get this kill onto Snacks in the first place. And then as he rotates over to A, this turns into that clip I showed in the intro, which is just ridiculous. I don't think I can even attempt to break this down. The fact he doesn't land the first shot and then lands the nose scope is just crazy, and I think shows how much natural talent this guy has. Still a very fun round to look at though. Heading towards crunch time of this game, ZywOo showed that he had the clutch gene even when he was 16 years old. In the final 2 rounds, there's another one where ZywOo's just forced to rotate and gets left in an unwinnable 1v3. Again, this was so much of this CT side for ZywOo. They were just trying to avoid him like the plague in this second half. And then in the final round of the game, ZywOo gets a really clean pick to start the round with the 1 saved AWP. But then as the round goes on, he does start to miss some shots, and even though they push his bomb site, he's only able to get 2 kills in the end, which doesn't end up being enough. Against All Authority go on to lose this game, but ZywOo finishes with that 37 for 17 stat line in his first game ever against a top 10 team. Clearly, this kid had talent from the get-go. Hope you guys enjoyed this blast from the past. I never thought that ZywOo would have played against VP while they were on one of their hot periods, so I think this is a really cool game to look at. You might have seen I was announced as Flashpoint Talent recently, which is going to be so much fun. Make sure to check that out, guys. And don't worry, I'm going to try and make sure I can upload as much YouTube videos as possible while I'm there. I'm making sure to bring a laptop with me. And yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you next time.